Hello, and thank you for joining us for the first ever CoffeeMakers Festival, a digital series of new and old works. We would like to thank the community for having supported Coffee House Theatre Society, and we hope to keep creating theatre in Delta for many years to come. Before getting started, we would like to acknowledge with respect that we are all working, living, and creating on Coast Salish, Lilwat, Seashelt, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Wasanich, Tawasin, and Musqueam land. We realize that we are uninvited guests on this land and that the Indigenous communities across Canada are still facing systemic oppression and violence today. Finally, please consider donating to Black Lives Matter Toronto and Vancouver through us so that we are able to match your donations up to $500. We will continue to make efforts to share resources and knowledge with our community to help make a change. As Coffee House Theatre Society, we are all individually taking time to listen to Black voices and help amplify them. We are also taking the time to learn. A good documentary to watch would be 13th, which is available on Netflix. Tonight we will be presenting two 10-minute staged readings of Rule of Three by Jasmine Le Masurier and Blunt Force Trauma by Camryn Smith. After the readings, there will be a short talkback with the two very talented authors, so please ask any questions you have in the comments. Now, please get comfy in your homes, maybe grab some popcorn, this is a theater you're allowed to eat in, and get ready for our two staged readings.
Lights up. The sounds of dripping faucets are heard. Two girls are seen on opposite sides of the stage, both looking into their bathroom mirror. They both reach for the tap and turn it to full blast. Elizabeth washes her hands. Liz watches the water run with her toothbrush in one hand. She begins to put her toothbrush into her mouth and then briskly shuts the water off.
Why am I like this?
Stop stressing out. You're fine. What do you have to lose?
I have so much to lose.
He's just a hypocrite. He isn't gonna fire me, right?
He is waiting for you right outside that door. He's gonna dump you if you don't just woman up and sleep with him.
I need to sleep with him.
Beth barges out. She is terrified and is walking awkwardly.
Oh, no. Why'd this have to happen at school?
Calm down.
It's okay.
It's not okay. Nathan was being so rude and making all the other boys look at me. Now my favorite jeans are ruined.
I need this raise. I need to get out of this house. I'm a 22-year-old who still lives with her parents.
My parents are downstairs. What if they hear us?
How do I deal with this? I'm an idiot. Why is this happening to me?
This one man is controlling my life. I just can't get out. I need this job.
I need to lose my virginity. Everyone thinks I'm a prude, even Jake.
If I sleep with him, I'll be able to get a raise and finally move out of this house. It won't be so bad. Talia said that her cookie in the storage room increased her wage.
The girls all stare at themselves in the mirror.
What is wrong with you?
You need to grow up.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth grips the sink in frustration. She is flooded with old memories. She looks down at what she's doing and lets go.
I'm fine.
I wish Mom and Dad were here. They would know what to do.
They're downstairs drinking again. What's new? They don't care about what I do or who I'm with.
I don't care.
I hope they come home soon. I have to finish my volcano diorama before the science fair. Maybe they will help me this time.
I bet if I left right now, they wouldn't even notice that I was gone.
They wouldn't notice.
They wouldn't notice.
I wouldn't notice.
Isn't it stupid that no one explains what it's like to get your period? Then it finally comes and it's never spoken about again. Now Nathan thinks I'm weird, and all the girls are making fun of me because I am the first girl in our class to have their period.
He is waiting outside for me. He thinks tonight is the night we will have sex for the first time. He's been waiting for a while, but I don't know if I'm ready. What if I look ugly naked, or he makes fun of my boobs? I feel like I'm not giving my all in this relationship. What kind of girlfriend am I if I don't want to be intimate? Making out can only last for so long.
So long as I stick on the down low about this exchange, everything will be fine. I will get this raise and I'll finally be able to move out of this place.
Breathe. You are fine.
Breathe. You're fine.
Breathe. You're fine.
Beth is seen holding up a box of pads and a box of tampons. She examines both boxes.
Okay. I have to choose either between this adult diaper or this contraption. How does this thing fit inside me?
Talia said that his dick was a weird shape. What if it's so small that it slips out of me?
I just need to get it over with and have sex with him. I don't know how to touch it.
I don't even know how to use these. How am I supposed to learn when no one is helping me? All I'm going to do is make a fool of myself.
All I'm going to do is make a fool of myself.
Stop!
The girls all look at themselves in the mirror.
You love Jake, right? You've been together for 4 months. He's been asking you for sex for almost every day of the past 3 months. Even Jess came up and told me that her boyfriend said that Jake was annoyed because most girls would be dying to sleep with him.
I wish someone would teach me about periods. Or even tell me that everything will be okay.
Your job is great. You just need to make more money. That's it. Your boss can do that for you. He's helped out so many other girls financially. He can help you out too if you do this.
You've got this.
You've got this.
You've got this.
I am going to have sex. I am ready, and I know what to do.
I am just going to stay in my room forever. I'm not going to school anymore. I won't have to see Nathan or any of the girls.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
Both Beth and Liz exit stage.
Is it really going to be fine? My whole life I've been blaming everything on myself. Where's that gotten me, huh? I couldn't even figure out how to use a tampon when I first got my period.
Elizabeth takes a moment to examine herself in the mirror. She is disgusted at herself.
Mom and Dad were right. You are a waste of space. You still live at home with parents who don't care about you. They didn't even bother to show up to your high school graduation and left you waiting at the grade 8-7 science fair for 3 hours after you won best diorama. They'd rather be at a pub than with their own daughter.
Elizabeth slowly backs away from the mirror. She appears frustrated.
I really am alone, aren't I?
Elizabeth sits on the bathroom floor.
Why? Why am I still alive?
Beth re-enters the stage.
Remember when you came home from school with blood all over your new pair of jeans? Remember how terrified you were from all your classmates laughing at you? You said you'd never set foot back in that school ever again. But you know what you did? You charged right back into that school and you punched Nathan square in the nose.
Liz re-enters.
Remember when you were going to lose your virginity to Jake Hillman? Remember when you locked yourself in your washroom trying to convince yourself that you wanted to? That you loved him? Remember that?
Elizabeth stands up and tries to block away the memory. Liz and Beth get closer to Elizabeth and force her to remember this memory.
You never did sleep with him. You stepped outside your washroom and told him no. He wasn't very happy and he called you a bitch, but do you need those people in your life, Liz? Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
No!
Liz and Beth step back.
I never needed any of them in my life. All they did was beat me down and tell me that I didn't deserve to be here. It started with Nathan teasing me about my period. My parents, after Jake and I broke up, I was determined to never let a man control my life again. But then this happened. This boss knows that I need the money. He'll do anything to make me submit to him. But I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need this job. I can't leave. I can't quit. I can't...
I believe in you.
Trust yourself.
Liz and Beth come up beside Elizabeth.
I don't know if I can.
You made it through the teasing and torment.
You took all the negative people in your life and you focused on yourself.
You can get through this.
You aren't alone.
They both take one of her hands in support.
I am not alone. I can get through this.
You can do this.
You can do this.
I can do this.
Blackout.
Agatha, a 19-year-old girl, stands in front of a black void. Her eyes are closed and she's breathing hard.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind,
Agatha violently clutches her wrist and opens her eyes.
my life had just begun.
The sound of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody swells in volume. Agatha paces frantically behind the void in a manic state.
Mama, I don't want to die. Sometimes, that is the question. I love you. Stop. No, please stop.
The music halts abruptly. Agatha stops center stage and turns slowly to face the void. A moment of stillness. Then she jumps into it, falling. Relief floods her face. Past Agatha and future Agatha burst out from opposite sides of the stage, and each hold out one hand towards Agatha.
Stop!
Agatha freezes in space as she is falling. Past Agatha and future Agatha still have their arms out. They are holding her in this frozen position. They move their hands to guide her back up and behind the void. They bring their hands down, and Agatha unfreezes.
Why would you do that?
You see that? Did you see that? I saved you. You were falling and I saved you.
I was almost free.
I know.
Agatha examines her hands.
I still have hands.
You're really pretty. I'm so glad I get to look just like you when I grow up.
Agatha lifts up her sleeve to look at her watch.
I have to get to school.
Agatha turns to leave, but future Agatha moves to block her from exiting.
Just wait a minute.
I have to go get ready. I can't stay inside here right now.
Aw, just stay a minute. We can do something fun. Something that doesn't make you want to do
Past Agatha pauses hesitantly and then points to the void.
that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean... I don't actually want to...
Agatha starts to hyperventilate.
I have to go.
Agatha turns abruptly and attempts to move past future Agatha again. Future Agatha puts her hands on Agatha's shoulders to stop her. Agatha jumps and flinches at her touch.
Please, let me go. I can't be late for class.
Your class is in 3 hours.
Yeah, but I have to shower. I do that every day I shower. But I always end up back here, in the end. Wait, there is no end.
Agatha looks out past the void.
There is no end, is there?
Future Agatha lets go of Agatha's shoulders as Agatha moves to try to get a better look past the void.
I was so happy before, wasn't I?
Yes, a long time ago, you liked riding your bike to the library and reading Nancy Drew books all night with a flashlight under your blankets and baking snickerdoodle cookies. Oh, and you loved blueberries. In the summer, you used to walk to the farmer's market and buy a whole pack and then go to the beach and sit by the water and eat them all. And you weren't scared or afraid?
Agatha clutches her own head and screams. She's in pain.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Past Agatha begins to tear up.
I really didn't.
Future Agatha pulls out a small dictionary from her coat pocket and moves to hand it to past Agatha.
It's okay. Here, take this. Learn some new words.
Past Agatha takes the dictionary excitedly and sits down. Future Agatha goes back to Agatha, who's looking mournfully at her hands.
I didn't mean to upset her.
I know.
I don't want to hurt anyone. You have to believe me.
I do. I believe you.
Agatha looks at past Agatha, who is zealously flipping through the dictionary and delightedly mouthing the words.
Will I ever get back to her?
No.
No? No, I'm going to be...
Agatha gestures to the void.
Here forever?
No.
What? Why won't you just... Why can't... Why?
What are you trying to say?
I can't...
Just say it.
I just really can't stay here anymore.
That's not it. You're only here because you're trying to escape something else. You have to say it.
I don't know how to.
You're being a coward.
What? That's so mean. How could you? You know what happened to me, don't you? It happened and now nothing is the same. I don't even know who I am anymore. Is it just something about me?
Agatha walks to the edge of the void.
I don't know why people always hurt me.
Agatha looks to past Agatha, who's still reading the dictionary.
Look at her.
Agatha looks back at future Agatha, who's been looking at Agatha tearfully.
What?
Nothing. You just look so sad right now.
Agatha breaks down sobbing.
Hey, I think it's time now. You can't push it away forever.
I just hate it so much, being inside.
Agatha gestures to her whole body.
Here. And it's terrible because I have to live in here forever. Things can come at you and mess you up, and then you realize, once it's in your body, you'll never really feel safe again. Ever.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. And even when I say it, when I finally get up enough courage to talk about it, the words don't sound like enough. They can't really measure what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
No, it's not yeah. I literally just keep saying shit that doesn't really mean anything. I just can't find the words.
I know. You're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out those words and what really happened to your body.
It's just so scary alone.
What do you want?
Sometimes I just need to be held.
Past Agatha drops her dictionary on the ground and runs over to Agatha, enveloping her in a hug. Agatha's face crumples in relief.
It's not going to be easy after something like this. What happened to you? You're going to wish you were the girl you were before every day for the rest of your life. But you have to know. You have to know.
Future Agatha gestures to past Agatha.
That she's still you. And no person can take that away from you.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. You can just exist for now. You can be okay with existing.
Pause. Agatha wraps her arms around past Agatha. Blackout.
Great work, everybody. So those were our first two original plays for the CoffeeMakers Festival. Congratulations. Yeah, we're gonna do a short talkback now, so if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them. I think we should start, though, by going around and introducing everyone. I'll start. I'm Kate. I'm one of the directors of Coffee House, and I'm also the technician for this live-streamed festival.
Hi, I'm Camryn, and I'm an actor and writer and director and a recent graduate of Capilano University for the acting program.
I am Jasmine Le Masurier. I am the director Level 3. I'm also an actor, and I also just graduated from Capilano University.
Okay, I'll go. My name's Jenny, and I was in Jasmine's play, and I also just recently graduated from Capilano University.
Hi, I'm Syrah. I'm also one of the directors of Coffee House, and I do acting stuff.
I'm Lauren Alberico, and I played Beth in Jasmine's play, and I'm going into second year of acting at Capilano University.
I'm Sylvi. I read the stage directions for Jasmine's play, and I also just graduated from Capilano University.
I'm Tess. I played Elizabeth in Jasmine's play, and I too graduated from Capilano University.
Bryn. I played past Agatha in a blunt force drama at Camryn Smith, and I currently study elementary education at UVic.
Cool, great. So to start us off, our first question is for all the actors. What's it like acting on Zoom instead of a stage? Did it present any new challenges?
I think it's definitely very different because you're so used to acting in live with people and being able to really look at them and connect with them on stage. So doing it over a webcam that definitely is a challenge. But I'm just glad that at least we have some opportunities to perform, even if it's on Zoom. So.
Another, building onto that, I'd say, because we're not all in person and with plays that have, physicality as an important part of it, you can't fully do that if it involves, catching Agatha as she falls into the void. And so it kind of leaves to the imagination, I guess, a bit more. And we also have the stage directions being read to help people envision it more rather than a direct representation of it.
Cool. And for the Playwrights, you both originally wrote these plays earlier this year for a festival at CAP, right? Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, the Tom Cone Festival. We've done it for, we've been in CAP for 3 years. So we started off with acting and then directing. And then me and Camryn were lucky enough to be able to write something for Tom Cone for the second year directors, which we were super excited to do and we were super passionate about. But due to COVID-19, we were unable to put those on. Which totally sucks, but I'm so glad that we're given the platform for Coffee House to be able to show our work, because I know me and Camryn were super passionate about putting these on, so thankfully we were able to do that.
Yeah, and actually everyone that's in Jasmine's play has been part of the Tom Cone Festival in some capacity in the past few years, so that's really cool.
Cool. What themes were you hoping to explore when you were writing these plays?
For me, I really wanted to write something that was about a specific thing, like trauma, but exploring it in more of a kind of a cerebral and surrealistic way. And it's about the after effects of it and how it manifests in a person's brain. So, and I really like theater for exploring stuff like that. That's kind of stylistic, and I feel like it's a great platform for it.
I would describe mine as a coming-of-age story. These girls are all the same person, but in different times of their life. So there's the youngest, and the middle, and then the oldest. And the oldest is going through some tough stuff with work and at home, and she's trying to move out. So I would say this is a whole self-love piece, learning to love yourself and to cope with your past and try to move forward with that and gain the confidence and strength within yourself. So So yeah, that was my main thing. Also, female empowerment is super big, and I'm super passionate about writing female characters with real voices and who are truthful and raw. So that was something that I was really aiming towards with these.
Oh, thank you. We have a question from Lisa, who is watching. Did the Playwrights have a vision for how these works would appear on a conventional stage?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, because they're originally supposed to be set in the ALBERTA studio at Kaplan University, which is a black box studio. So I really like black box theaters because there's so much, like, I like blank spaces. So I was going to do, I know my director originally was going to do some stuff with lighting for it, but it's still being very simple, which was a vision that I really liked.
Mine as well was going to be in the black box theater at Arbutus. I wanted it to be really clean with each of the girls in their own spaces on the stage because they're not actually talking to each other, they're talking to themselves. So something clean in that sense, and then just clean exits and entrances. And then at the end, I wanted it to be like a powerful moment with them holding hands, telling each other that they can get through this.
We've mentioned CAP quite a bit in this talkback. So how do you think the skills that you learned at school have affected your writing?
Ooh, yeah, that's great. It's like really interesting because I went into acting school not really thinking of myself as a writer. Like, I enjoyed writing, it was something I liked doing, but I didn't think of it as something as part of my identity. And now after having graduated acting school, like, it's such an intrinsic part of who I am and the things that I like doing. So that's really interesting for me.
I 100% agree with that. I solely went into CAP for acting. Like, I was like, I'm going to be an actor, nothing else. And then through the program with directing, even writing, I didn't even consider myself as a writer until this year. And just going through that process made me realize that I can create content for myself and for other people without having to wait on producers or casting directors or even agents, that we're able to do our own work and show our own work to a wide variety of people. So that's something I totally learned through CAP, and I'm hoping to continue even during COVID and after COVID's over. Yeah.
And building on that, do you think that your training in acting and directing has helped your writing and vice versa?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like with acting, it's helpful because you learn about relationship, and I feel like you can write dialogue from that as well, really well. And with directing, you know how things will translate to stage, and you have an idea of like impactful moments that you can write to be portrayed on a stage.
And like through our classes at CAP, I was able to like write more clearly and write more efficiently with like goals and objectives in mind, from like the actor's standpoint, but as well as like the arcs and character arcs and such of writing. So that was super, super helpful to me as a writer. But also I think the best writers kind of are actors, directors, producers, because they know what's going inside an actor's head while they're reading a script. So it was super important for my process.
Yeah. So what was your writing process like? We have a question from Terrence who asked, what inspired you to write Rule of Three? And Camryn, what inspired you to write Blunt Force Trauma?
Ooh. I feel like really just going back to that whole thing of exploring like ideas that you can't really explore in other ways. So like I really wrote Blunt Force Trauma for the stage because I love using the stage just to explore like ideas that are abstract. It's like something that's going on inside a person's head, and that's something that's harder to do in some other forms sometimes, and this is like the form that really spoke to me for that.
Something that inspired me to write Rule of Three is not seeing any pieces that like I related to, any plays that I related to, and I really wanted to explore self-confidence and self-worth and like past experience in your life that has affected you in the future, which I think is really important, and like Camryn was like a super awesome rock through this whole process, because she basically saw me from like brainstorming and pitching my idea to, you know, fully fledged play basically. So that was super great, and she was like in the library working with me constantly till like 10 p.m. at night. So I owe a lot of this play's success due to her, because she was completely there for me. So yeah, no, I just really wanted a piece that everyone could relate to, not just females, but everyone, because everyone's felt sort of alone in their life, and yeah.
Cool, thank you. And that kind of leads into something that I'm curious about the cast of Rule of Three, because you were supposed to be acting in this in the Tom Cone Festival, is that right?
Yeah.
So have you guys been involved since the beginning and since the start of the writing process?
Well, they're all, except for Lauren, are just graduated in third year. Lauren was actually supposed to be in the Tom Cone Festival for first year, but not in my play. It was completely different actors. It was supposed to be directed by Emma LeDuc, who's amazing. I love her. But yeah, no, anyone could basically fill these roles. Like, I would have anyone. They're supposed to look similar, but I don't really care about that. As long as you've got the chops, you're in. But yeah, Camryn's was completely different as well for her cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might notice some faces from last week's performance.
Yeah.
Came back.
Which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Question for actors from Syrah's mum. How did you prepare / character build for performing in an online environment? Is it much different than prepping for an in-person play? And that's for all actors.
I feel like, especially for roles like this, where it's telling like real stories that like majority of girls growing up go through, like getting their first period, like sometimes being pressured and feeling pressured by society and relationships to be physically whatever. And so I think just like drawing on like not even just past experiences of myself, but like of like friends who have confided in me and like seeing how they felt in those experiences. And every time I like take on a role, like I like to make it as truthful as possible, whether it be online or in stage, especially with stories like this, because it can be hard for people to like watch because like they may be triggered by it. So I think it's just important to like be as truthful as possible for those that have gone through what they're watching.
I guess for me, like, it wasn't that different of a process because it's a very personal, like, exploration of a character. So there's a tiny bit of connecting at the end with other people, but we're also, like, I don't know. I felt like it was kind of the same process for me, personally.
I feel very lucky because I've worked with both Bryn and Katie very closely in the past in person. So we kind of already had that connection. So I personally didn't have a very difficult time kind of taking that connection and putting it online. But yeah, for the actual like character building stuff, it was awesome to be able to talk to the writer who is also our director. Like that was great. That was awesome.
Yeah, what was that like having the writer in the room per se? Did that change how you felt about your script work at all?
I felt like it was kind of like Syrah said, like it was really helpful because then you can kind of ask questions directly to the source, and obviously like Camryn wrote the script, so she's gonna know what her intentions were when writing her script, and so she kind of would know the character's intentions. And so I think
working that closely really helped, like, building kind of, intentions and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. Like, I live with Jasmine, the writer and director, and so I saw it kind of build, and, like, I had, like, insight of, like, the deeper reasons of the play and, like, where it came from and inspiration. So I feel like stepping into the role, like, was really great to have Jasmine around, because then she could, talk about it, and she knew everything about it. So it's not like the writer was, like, not here. So it was really helpful.
Great, thank you. Okay, last question that we're going to close with. Do you have any projects coming up that you want to plug right now?
Yeah. I'm working on directing a production of Midsummer Night's Dream for CoffeeMakers Festival that will go up on July 25th. And then Jasmine and I are also working on a web series called Stimulated Emission.
That we're really passionate about. Yeah, we've been workshopping it since September, and like brainstorming on it since September, and Camryn's writing it and I'm directing it. And yeah, we're super passionate and we're super excited about that. So look forward to that. Follow us on Instagram. Stimulated Emission.
And where is that being posted if people want to watch it?
It's still in progress. Like,
it's in pre-production.
Still being made, so yeah. But it'll hopefully be available
on our Insta.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
I'd like to plug the rest of our festival.
Yeah.
Which is every Saturday leading up to Camryn's Midsummer Night's Dream. So
yeah. And we've
check
got
us out every Saturday if you have time.
We've got 2 more performances of new works by Jay Johnson and Shelby Satterthwaite coming up too, so look forward to that. And next week is Frogs by Aristophanes, which should be a lot of fun. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you haven't already, please consider donating to our GoFundMe for Black Lives Matter Vancouver and Toronto, and we will match the first $500 of donations. So we really appreciate all the support that we've gotten already. We've already reached half our goal, so thank you so much. Other than that, have a great night, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.